All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Daily Post Nigeria. Nigerians are sufficiently afflicted. Madi Shehu laments Tinubu's 34 billion naira foreign trips. Madi Shehu has criticized Bola Tinubu over reports that the presidency spent more than 34 billion on foreign travel within 2 years, describing it as heartless governance. This is heartless in governance, he wrote. He also described the spending as governance terrorism, democratic robbery, and political banditry. What else can I say? This is the situation of Nigeria. Nigerians are being told to be patient. We are being told that this period is a period that people need to allocate their resources. They need to be very careful that it is a period of surgery and Nigerians will benefit later. But the governors and the lawmakers and the federal government and the executives have had the money that comes into their own hands tripled and quadrupled, while the people are being told to be patient. But we are not surprised. We don't expect anything different from the APC. Will Nigerians ever be able to say enough is enough? Well, that is left to be seen. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming straight from Sokoto. Nigerians coming down heavily on Bishop Kukah for trying to whitewash his image after selling out to this administration. And next is that big one, a video that has now gone viral days after former governor of Edo State and Senator Adams Oshiomhole insulted Nigerians on Channels television. Now, Oshiomhole has been caught on a private jet with a prostitute. He was massaging the leg of his mistress, and the video has now gone global. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Now, in this video, Mr. Abdurrahman Musa Ododo, a national policy analyst. This man is an analyst employed by this administration to discuss and enlighten Nigeria about the policies of the administration. But he spoke for 2 minutes and he didn't make a single sense. He kept on stuttering and jumping from one issue to another, even struggling to pronounce names. What kind of national policy analyst is this? Watch this video.
It's a process. I'm telling you, that is how it is. It's not something that a seed. If you plant a seed today, you don't expect it to germinate, and that is what I'm saying. That governing through a process, governing this kind of country through a process of transition is always troublesome. Because even what you're doing, it will not. What the reform that is being carried out from the bold reform of President Bola Tinubu is the classical way of confronting when this nation is going through this kind of transition. Nigeria is at the pinnacle, just like I said, at the pinnacle of the most significant revolutionary transition. You need is in fact in study of statecraft, this is the most. Is the rarest and the most demanding form of statecraft, and it's taxing for any leadership, because these people that you even want to help, they will be asking this question. That is why I said, but what we need to do is keep explaining, just like the ministry of the minister of foreign, the minister of trade, investment, industry, trade and investment, Dr. Jumoke. He said, Oduwole, he said so far over 50.8 billions across 87 MOUs have been committed to Nigeria from President Bola Ahmed to use troops up to now. He said that in his ministerial briefing last year. So meaning he said something that's very pertinent. He said what is left of them is how to engage, because those things must be followed up so that it can yield exactly what you're saying. It has to be a process.
Wow, you heard that. Please, can you tell me anything that you picked from this 2-minute video? Wisdom here said, Mr. Man, you are not making any points, saying so many words without actually saying anything meaningful. That is it. He didn't say a single thing meaningful. And this is supposed to be a national policy analyst. But you know what? The makers of the policy themselves are so confused. Everything they are doing is confusing. So there is nothing to explain other than to keep telling us the same thing. Tinubu will say it is pain of surgery. The next day he will come back and say it is pain of childbirth. Now the policy analyst is saying it's like a seed that they have planted. Okay, you planted a seed and after 2+ years we cannot even see the seed sprouting. What kind of agriculture is that? Even the perennial crops that will take 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they mature, at least they go show head small, say, okay, seed was planted and we are seeing something. Can you tell me what we are seeing from this administration? Can you tell me that aspect of Nigeria that is even showing promise? Is it education? Is it agriculture? Farmers are complaining everywhere saying they will not vote Tinubu in 2027. Saying they will do all they can to ensure that this government is sent out. So you are not doing well in the area of agriculture. Education, you are not doing well. So health sector, resident doctors are on strike. Insecurity, widespread. So what is that area that the reform has impacted or has started to impact? No area. And it is clear. I am not the one that employed this man. I am not the one that invited him to Arise TV to come and speak. He went there to speak for the government. And in that 2-minute clip, he couldn't even say any single thing that would make any sense. It's the same thing that Felix Moka and the rest of them say when they come there. Nigerians should keep hoping and keep waiting for nothing. If Nigerians don't come together to get the APC out of power, this is how this country will continue to sink in their hands. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that one coming all the way from Sokoto. Nigerians coming down hard on Bishop Kukah for trying to whitewash his image. And next is that video that has now gone viral. Adams Oshiomhole caught in a private jet with his mistress, who is actually a TikToker from South Africa. He was massaging the leg of this mistress days after he insulted Nigerians on Channels TV. Let's start by taking that update from Sokoto. Look at how the papers reported it. This one is coming from Nigeria Stories. Breaking: the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Kukah, has raised concerns over the persistent killings in different parts of Nigeria, calling on Nigerians to unite and put an end to the bloodshed. Oh, Bishop Kukah, so we have killings. I thought you said there was no genocide. I thought you said the government was doing everything possible, that Nigerians should stop criticizing. You said the government was doing well, so what has changed? Why are you now saying this? If the government is doing very well, then why are you telling us to unite and stop? If you really want to whitewash your image, why not start criticizing the APC the way you were doing before? But I guess you have sold out. You have eaten from the table. So to speak against it has become impossible. And Adetutu here says, how do we unite and put an end to the bloodshed? Is it our duty to pick up arms to defend ourselves? When the Nigerian military goes into villages to collect arms from vigilantes who protect their people, why don't you start by using your voice to call out Gumi and other Fulani terrorists? Wow. And Yaga says, why is he raising concerns? He is the one that said there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. So what has changed? Why the sudden turnaround? Useless God of men. And Dr. Jude here says he is calling for the sponsors of the terrorists and their victims to unite to stop the killings. Does that make sense? He doesn't want to call on Tinubu to stop the killings because he is probably afraid. That is it. There is no point in you saying Nigerians should unite, Bishop Kukah. Any kind of unity that Nigerians will do now is to unite and get the APC out of power. There are people saddled with the responsibility of fighting this insecurity. And Nigeria has given them so much resources. The entire budget is in their hands. Now they are even receiving help from the US. Just a few weeks ago, the US gave serious, sophisticated military weapons to the Nigerian government to fight insecurity. So what unity are you talking about? Yet they attack army camps, take over army camps, and we don't hear that they use these weapons. So please, Tinubu is now your friend, Bishop Kukah. If you really want to advise somebody, then go to Aso Rock again as you have been doing and go and advise him. Allow Nigerians to rest and nurse their wounds that the APC has inflicted and keeps inflicting on them. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that video from Adams Oshiomhole massaging the feet of his mistress on a private jet days after insulting Nigerians began making the rounds. Now, before I show you that video, let me remind you of the insult that Adams Oshiomhole gave to Nigerians. Watch this video first.
State and Senator representing Edo North, Adams Oshiomhole, has said that Nigerians are now saying food is becoming too cheap. Mr. Oshiomhole explained that the reforms by President Bola Tinubu's government were working when asked what would Mr. Tinubu use as his campaign point for re-election. Well, let's listen.
The truth is this: we promise radical reforms.
And there has touched radical taxation on the pockets of the average person.
Which average person? You pick this from the mouth of the people. No. Have you gone to see people complaining?
Know realities.
There are Nigerians now.
Rates,
there are Nigerians now who are saying
cost of production,
food is becoming too cheap.
Cost of living.
Cost of living is what now?
Higher now. No, I'm saying that from the time the president got into office and the policies.
Well, there are Nigerians who are saying now food is becoming too cheap.
You saw that. Now, that was Adams Oshiomhole insulting Nigerians. He said, Nigerians, some people are even complaining that food is now too cheap. Insulting the sensibility of the people. Your government met, this Tinubu administration met a bag of rice at 32,000 naira. Now, bag of rice selling for 60,000, 60-something thousand naira. How has it become so cheap to the point that Nigerians will complain? And when they said the common man, that they are doing reforms at the expense of the common man, he said, which common man? What is my business with common man? And days after that, he actually proved it, that he does not care about the common man when he was caught in a private jet with his mistress massaging her feet. Watch this video. Wow, you saw that. That was Oshiomhole there massaging the feet of TikTok model Lishan Dagama. That lady is a South African TikToker, Lishan Dagama. Oshiomhole massaging her feet in that video. When you are living like this, why won't you say which common man? Why wouldn't you say you do not care about the common man? So all our taxes, all the monies that the APC is squeezing out of us, the Tinubu administration squeezing out of Nigerians, this is what they do with the entire money. Lawmakers now receiving ×3 of their allocation, and then they get private jets and begin to host parties and Owambe. This is what they all do. And this tweet here says, what did you guys think they do with all the huge allocations? Our reps are fat cats. All they do is just spend our money on vacations, buying houses and cars for different women in Abuja. That is it. And that girl says, is it now a crime for a man to PDA with his wife? This is his wife, for God's sake. You know, some people thought it was that his wife that he married, you know, a long time ago. But it is not actually his wife. Abiodun replied, he said, this is not his wife. It is Lishan Dagama, a South African TikToker. The video is on her TikTok account. Go there to confirm. The lady actually posted the video on her TikTok account after she filmed herself with Oshiomhole. And Humble Dove here says, foot massage on a private jet while telling Nigerians that food is now too cheap. My country, my country. The irony is doing press-ups. Priorities are clearly well fed and well rested. Wow, that is it. The politicians, they are the priorities. They feed themselves well. Then they tell you and I to manage. So if you are watching, whether you are Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, it doesn't matter. You will suffer under the Tinubu administration, while they will not look at tribe when they share the money amongst themselves. But you go to look, say, this one I be my tribe, now this one I go support. And winner here says, a politician is the highest paid job in Nigeria and the least productive to the economy. They do nothing but use the taxpayers' money to enrich themselves and their female friends, and then oppress the masses they feed on. Exactly. And Asiya says, Nigerian men in the comments can't tell the difference between light-skinned women. It seems that is not his wife. It is Lishan Dagama, a South African TikToker who is sort of notorious for being a side. The lady is notorious for being a side chick to many married men. So it's not even only Oshiomhole. So they are just passing her around. I'm sure that close to 10 other Nigerian senators will be involved with her. This is, oh my God. This is what they do with our resources. This is what these people do with crude oil money. Even the loans that they take. It is such a shame. So this is a big one, particularly for APC supporters, for some people who still have soft spot for the APC. I am glad that this video has now gone viral. This is, first of all, a global disgrace. The whole world has seen it. This is what Nigerian senators do with women, and they claim that they are doing reforms in Nigeria. Oshiomhole said, we promised hard reforms. We promised hard reforms. So this is what you do with the benefits of the reforms, right? So if you still have a soft spot for the APC, thinking that this party has any plan for you, by now you should know that they have no single plans for you. They are only there for themselves, and everything they are doing, amassing wealth from subsidy removal. Government can't pay any subsidy. They can't subsidize anything for Nigerians because they need to save money. What do they do with the money? You have seen it. It is Oshiomole's own that we have seen now. I can promise you that this is how all these senators roll. From one private jet to another, flying from one country to another, hosting parties from one country to another. Are Nigerians ever going to come to a point where they will say enough is enough? That we cannot continue to suffer in a nation that has enough for all of us to at least live decent lives. If we begin to think in that direction, then we can cast aside our sentiments, unite, and take our country back. But if we are not able to ever, take this country back, then the other suggestion will be that we split this country, because you can't continue on a path that does not have success in sight. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now, because of una naya day here. So don't go away. Don't go away.